Hello, it's Amy with Peppermint Journals, and today I have 3 beautiful Christmas journals that I'd like to share with you. They're available right now in my Etsy shop. I have one giant one and then 2 smaller ones so that I could have different price points. The smaller ones are 64 pages and the big one is 128 pages. The big one has 10 charms in total, and the little ones have 5 charms, so they're about half the size. There's real metal jewelry with rhinestones on it on the cover, and faux pearls and everything on the giant one, and then glass decoration on the other ones that makes them look really gemmy and sparkly and so cute. The first one was my favorite until I made the second one, then it was my favorite, and then of course I finished the big one, and then it was my favorite. But I used a kit by Miles Beyond the Moon. I used exclusively for the journals their kit, and then especially the small ones, my sheet music digital kit. I just printed that on the back. There's some blank pages. There's some pages that look like book page. There's some pages that are kind of collaged together in there. It was great. It was just the thing. So what I thought we could do is we would take a look at this 2 small ones first and then the larger one. They all have sari silk tie closure. I just tied into a bow. And then this little tag book is like the free gift that I would include that I normally don't show, but here we are. A lot of times I don't have anything pre-made, which is why I don't show it. But this time I had this pre-made to match it so that when it sells, I'll have something all ready to wrap up and gift to the buyer. And I just love how gemmy and sparkly she is and her little glasses. I don't know if it's because they look like my glasses, which are kind of clear and pink with sparkles in them. Maybe, maybe not. I used candy charms on the 2 smaller journals. They're enameled metal charms of jewelry grade quality. And then inside the front cover, I of course have a collage tag here. And then the envelopes were actually from Amity Bloom, so there's a little bit of Amity Bloom in here. And I see I made a blank tag out of a sheet of Amity Bloom that I had printed on card, left over from some project, I don't know what, but it was laying out. I thought it looked beautiful with those Christmas papers. And then this tall skinny could be a bookmark, great for list making. If you saw my video, I think it's a short where I show how I use my journal. Then you could see me journaling the first day of December. I'm going to try to keep up and see if I can journal all 30 days. If not, I'm going to be nice to myself about it. So let's keep with that, right? Nice internal dialogue. There's a little gemmy charm on the top of this one. So I guess there's more than 5 charms in this. At least 5 charms, I guess I should say. And then this is the style that I prefer using. It's the style I made for myself for my own Merry Mondays. And I think the sheet music printed on the backs looks really good. Oh, I say I used a little bit of pixie dust files to make that pocket there from the Rote Botanical print. But it's almost exclusively Miles Beyond the Moon, where normally I mix way more things together. I tried to just use the one kit here to show it could be done. I like adding the fussy cuts to the pages, and that was a piece I trimmed off of the scrap I used on the cover. That doily is from the Dollar Tree. It comes in a pack of 2. They're great for journal making. You don't have to destroy anybody's beautiful handmade crochet, since not much of it peeks out after it's layered onto the cover. I'm sure that's machine made. And these little girls are so pretty. This is the middle of the single signature softcover journal. This one has pom-pom and is a little bit more colorful than the second one that I made. Each one has something it wants to be. And this one had wanted to be colorful, and the other one had wanted to be pink, white, and red theme. They both have this same feature inside. It's something I picked up from Lady Owl on TikTok, who's a friend of mine. She's in Germany. We've done a friendship exchange with journals before. Sometimes I don't use this pocket because it can be hard to get things in and out of that little narrow pocket. Really, it's because it's sticking out too far in front of me. My arms are almost fully extended on the video, so it's not right under my face where I can see what I'm doing. I think with the second journal is I just pull it under my face so I can see. But I just love how this looks. It's got lots and lots of room for journaling and writing, keeping sentiments, positive affirmations. I think for mine, I did glue a bunch of positive affirmations in there. Or quotes, positive quotes. All About Angels was the collection I used for mine because I thought that seemed Christmassy and then could potentially be journaling prompts if I was on that page. For now, I don't have any daily December journaling prompts, so I'm just going to be using it the way I normally do, like a gratitude journal. So each day I'll write at least 5 things that I'm thankful or grateful for, and then and keep it like a gratitude journal. If I get a list of prompts, those can be really fun as they take you on various trips down memory lane or whatever. If I could think of some prompts, I would suggest them, but I just couldn't think of any, so gratitude. So this one is so cute with her little flirty side glance. And again, all the glitter and sparkle on the cover. It's layered up on chipboard, as was the other one. And then this one comes with a little tag book gift also. Just a little 3 tag book. So it's smaller than the ones I'm selling in my shop, but just a little. And isn't this pretty? Do you have a favorite of the two after you watch these? I'd like to know if you have a favorite. Do you like the more colorful one better? Or will this one be your favorite? I'm just going to tie that tag book back onto it so that I can keep them together in my inventory. That way when it's sold and it's time to ship, I'll make sure that right tag book goes with it. And I used some ephemera to make pockets, and of course I layered up, and it looks like again I used some charms on some of the tags. So I'll say again, at least 5 charms. I know there's one on the cover and one on each of the 4 tabs. And again, for this one I also used candy themed charms. They're metal jewelry grade, enamel coated jewelry, little candy charms. Aren't those scenes neat? I could do a lot more, but with the single signature ones, I don't want them to be too bulky. I want there room for the person to get it, to add things to it if they want, to take things out of pockets or envelopes and make more pockets, or things that they find or get, gift tags that they received they could include in here. If I get it too full at the start, then I don't know. If it's just super big and you can't really open it up all the way, I don't think that feels nice when I'm trying to use it. So that's not how I would prefer to do it. This pocket is loaded with ephemera. I really like doing that because that's the way I like to keep my notes and do my journaling by and large, is usually I start on writing on the backs of all the things inside the pockets. And then if something feels really important or special, I'll go right in and fill in a page. The one I use the most is the one I have for work, and I just keep it to keep daily tasks and to-do lists, as well as like a gratitude journal. If I hear something interesting or an inspiring quote or something while I'm working, I'll jot it down in there. But mostly it's just keeping track of the daily list of things that I need to get done. Like today, I'd like to get this video done. I have another video I'd like to get edited, at least a tutorial, and then of course get those uploaded, the description written, and all of that done. Here's this element again, which again fits right in front of you. Like once I pull it right in front of me, it's not hard to get in the pocket. The thing fits in there, it's not too tight, so it slides down in there. And then there's something in the pocket behind it. I glued that whole sheet down, a full-size paged pocket, and then there's a full sheet in there. So if you didn't want anybody to see what you had to say, write it on there and tuck it in there. You and everybody else will probably forget about it. And I like putting bows on the stuff in the pockets. It just makes them so cute. I like that little belly band there. We're inside the single signature, again 64 pages with at least 5 charms. on the 4 tags on the cover, and then I know I've seen a couple on tags inside. So it looked like I just grabbed a handful of charms. This is inside the back cover. Another one of those handsome little boys dressed for Christmas. There's a whole bunch of stuff in this pocket. Won't get it all out. It'll be for the delight of whoever buys it. Won't get to see what's in there. Let me get the little tag book that goes with this attached, and we can look at the big one now. The big hardcover one. It's a 9x6. These are all 9x6. The big one is a 9x6 with a 3-inch spine. Oh, looks like one of the charms came off. I'll be adding that back on before it gets shipped out, or before it even goes into inventory. It'll get added. So here's a good look at the cover on this one. See that metal and rhinestone trim across the top, and the pearl brooch, all the glitter. Sorry, silk closure. Oh, and the charm on the cover is a little locket. Let me open it. See, you could put tiny little photos in there. Or some little pressed flowers or something. Maybe a tiny earring might fit in there with the post gone or something. I don't know. I don't know what might fit in there because it's so tiny. So since this was big and it, of course took a lot of time to add value, as I like to do, I made this full-size folio. It's a tutorial on the channel here. Easiest folio ever or something. It's so fun and easy to make. It was from a collaboration with Bontique Vintage Designs. And I just printed out 9 of the 10 pages of ephemera that came with the vintage, what's it called? Like vintage botanical kit? A vintage shabby kit. And then the shabby wooden kit I also had, and I used a little bit of that. But that's not necessary. Just any leftover pieces I made into tags to add in here. I used the shabby wooden kit pages printed on card to make the base of it. And then that little mini envelope is from my porch prints. I made this one a little bit different. I don't do them exactly the same every time, but I love printing out the pages and doing essentially the same thing, where it's this size and shape with the flip up and some of the same things in the pockets that are ephemera that come with the kit. That little door I usually leave out because it's kind of Christmassy, but since this is going inside a Christmas journal, I left it in. Although you could take this out and use it for anything really, which I thought was nice. It's such a nice neutral botanical theme. It goes great with almost anything, with like Cinderella journal, with this Christmas journal. When I make fairy journals, I think they go nice with fairy journals. I gave one as a gift for one of the days in the Advent calendar, although again they come out different. But one of the days in the Advent calendar will be this, all wrapped up. I hope the people who are opening their Advent boxes are having fun and enjoying it. I know they should have gotten their cover and their first signature to slide under there by now, where the signature's already all sewn together. And then I made it like Traveler's Notebook style. I have a video on that. You can go check it out. It's called The Greatest Advent Box Ever or something like that. I don't know. I was really proud of it, so I'm sure I gave it some boastful name. But yep, this also has a sorry silk closure. The long piece wraps around, and then the short piece just ties up at the opening. And then there's a pocket on the cover too. I think I do remember to show you. There's these circles, little notebook on the cover, and then this tall, skinny bookmarks shaped tag. So cute. I like that. So that can go inside the front cover. I think it makes it too full if you leave it in there, so I probably wouldn't, but I don't want to lose it. I want to keep it with the journal in my inventory, so I'll be keeping it in the front. I might wrap it up separately. I might leave it inside. It depends when it ships. However the mood strikes me, so I've got some custom collage tags and lots of these full sheets of vintage documents or sheet music inside the pocket. So you have a full sheet of page to journal on that you can just tuck away and then nobody sees. And then that journaling tag is really nice. So that would be something special, like a Christmas gift shopping list or something like that. I just love this kit. I loved it so well that I made 4 journals, and I had to make one for, one of those 4 was one I made for myself. In this bigger project, I included some scrapbooking style paper that was Christmas patterned prints that had the same blue and red kind of themed colors that I thought this digital did. The other thing I did on this big journal was I pulled apart one of my little tag books, my 5 tag books, and so there's 5 of those in here, fancy decorated tags. There's these little journaling prompts. It's printed on card. And then some Christmas ephemera, some cool vintage photos that I backed onto more card to make them extra stiff and sturdy. It's nice to have the different paper weights and textures in your hands when you're holding it and going through it. It's part of the experience of having and enjoying these. And the other thing, I have gone over this a little bit, is like, what do you use it for? Well, if you're not into journaling or keeping a diary or anything like that, maybe you should, because all the studies say yada yada. But another thing that I like to use them for is just as a coffee table book for people to look at when they come to visit. They're really interesting, and it keeps people engaged. It could give you something to talk about. If you're nervous, maybe it's a new friend or someone you don't see very often. Sometimes there could be awkward silences. Not with me. Like, I almost never stop talking. But here's some way that you could use some of the things that come in the pocket to play with the journal that don't include writing in it. So you could glue the little butterflies in. You could glue them in a row. You could glue them in a stack, which is kind of cool. You could glue one of the things down and make it a pocket. Like this sentiment could be a pocket. You just glue that in a U shape. You could make it a belly band. And then you could find things that fit underneath it. That could be your way of using the journal, could be just playing with it and making more pockets and filling pockets. That could be the way you use your journal. Doing journal spreads, some people call it. You could do collage on different pages and make it more like an art journal. You could practice learning to draw, or if you'd always wanted to learn like calligraphy, you could practice your handwriting in here. There's lots of videos and free tutorials and downloads and things if you didn't like your writing but you wanted to practice it. And then wouldn't that be neat? Practice it on the back of some of the different things, and then as you get better and more brave, you could use your new penmanship to write down different quotes and positive sentiments. They put a piece of dotted, is that dotted Swiss? I'm not sure what that's called, but it looks like snow, and I like the way it looked layered over her. And then there's so much stuff in this pocket, I'm having trouble holding it all in my hand. I just like to make sure it's full and that there's lots of stuff in here to play with. With that big 3-inch spine, I have plenty of room to pack all of these pockets as full as I want to get. And then that that floral decoration that's on the pocket is also a tuck spot. And that was from Amity Bloom. It's her petal pockets. And I can see some stuff from the Swan digital kit. Tailor-Made Journals is the Christmas ephemera. It's wonderful. It's this PDF with like 14 or 15 pages of ephemera. You just send it to print in one fell swoop. Then you have a huge stack of ephemera to cut out. Isn't she pretty? I added extra glitter to, I think, at least 2 of the pages inside each signature. Oftentimes I want to add more, and I go through and add more. But to try to make sure that it's even and that I don't just start glittering and then quit at some point, I try to make sure, there's 2 pages in this one. Let me make sure there's 2 pages in each of them. Something like that. So that if I probably there's more, but I try to make sure that, that I don't start the glitter and then have it stop after the first signature, because I get interrupted and go eat dinner and then forget when I come back or something. So just like those petal pockets, I made sure that there was one of each of those in each one of the signatures. There's 4 pockets, 4 of those that I made. Here's another one of those tags from the tag book, so it's like really thick and layered up and extra nice. Some of those little journaling prompts printed on card that just feel so neat in your hand. Those little strips with the type print on them. I'm not sure what it is about those, but they're fun to have and neat to hold. I like these photographs that look kind of like Polaroids. I backed all of them onto that pretty pink stripy paper, that paper doll dress, some large tags. Those are actually from a fairy kit I had left over from a fairy project. That Santa ephemera, I think, might be in here a couple times. It looks like I might have had some leftovers from printing out that ephemera kit and then printed it out again. So there might be a couple duplicate pieces of ephemera in here. That could be a fun game. See if you can discover which pieces might be duplicates or not when you're looking through it. These bird tags are really pretty. Those are by Pixie Dust Files. And then these vintage documents are from Sam Poole. They're her French bureau. And I love that. I use that all the time. All of Sam Poole's stuff is really nice. Her and Amity Bloom, Pixie Dust Files, any of my favorites, you can't go wrong. There's just so many things in their kit that help you to put it together. Another, oh, that one's so pretty. Another real winner is My Porch Prints, because it comes with the pages, the background pages, the ephemera. Like, it sets you up for success. And she's been around a long time. She's got some great stuff. My Porch Prints. Another one used to be called Digital Collage Club, but it's makingandcreating.com. That one's great. It's either a 1-year or a lifetime membership, and then you get access to their whole library of digital files, and she's constantly adding stuff. So that would be a great way to get started, especially if you're not sure what your style is. That's why I got confused in my talking there. Because I know at first I wasn't sure what my style was. I bought a bunch of kids' books and like all the different things that you see junk journalers use and make. And then over the years making and seeing people that inspired me that I liked their style, my style slowly evolved into something that's a lot less grungy, way more frilly and sparkly and girly than where it started, for sure. A lot cleaner and neater, a lot less junky, and more journal than junk. Although I do hide junk in here for sure. There's product packaging, raising things up, and I haven't made a junk mail envelope project in a while, but I do like doing those. Now that it's December, people are working on making Christmas crafts and projects. I have a bunch of tutorial ideas I'd like to do. I finished my Merrymakers Christmas crafting collaboration. I don't know if you guys checked that out. That was so fun, with Project 39 mini albums and a whole bunch of other channels. So there's some card makers. There's some people that make to sell at craft fairs. There's scrapbook makers. There's people like me, junk journal makers. So it was a great variety of projects and styles of projects, which is great. If you're trying to figure out your style, like what inspires you the most, what makes you want to run to your crafting room, or in my case, the crafting corner of the living room, and get out your stuff and craft. I know sometimes when I see pop-up videos, I have to run in there, or sometimes it's my own video. Maybe I'm doing a custom order, or I just want to I'm like, wow, I made a lot of cool stuff last year. Let me go watch some of those videos and remember some of the cool ideas I had last year. That's fun. I know I did, for TikTok, I went through my inventory, what's in my Etsy inventory, because I wanted to go through and organize everything anyways. And I didn't quite finish that, but I went through almost everything in my Etsy inventory, and then I felt like people are probably getting sick of this. And so I quit doing it. I saw my friend Debbie at Project 39 mini albums. She just did a photo montage of like slideshow of everything in her inventory. And I was like, oh, she is so smart. That was like the best idea, instead of my like 7-part video series or whatever, sharing them. And there's more of those little butterflies that layer up nicely, journaling prompts, button cards. There's so much cool ephemera going on while I'm chatting in the background. I like that this pocket is kind of hidden behind the flipping out envelope, which was something else I made sure there was at least one of those in each one of the signatures. There's 3 signatures. And if you're not sure what that is, it's just the group of pages folded and sewn in. With if I just used all 128 pages folded into one group, it just wouldn't look nice. It wouldn't lay flat. I maybe could have even broken it down into 4 signatures, which I sometimes do. 5 is probably the most that I'll break it down into. I just make more books as opposed to adding more signatures. I think I mentioned before, I don't like it to get too full. Aren't those neat? Those are more from the tag book that I pulled apart to put in here. And those vintage Christmassy papers, lots of room to add photos and to write. And then here's another tag book that I tied inside of the book, but you could just untie it from the book and keep it like a separate thing if you wanted. At the time, the book wasn't very full, and I wanted it to be really full. There's some 2-sided tags in here, some fun vintagey photographs and reproduction ephemera. This giant card in the back. Just looked like it was behind the pocket, but it's actually a card. That's why I put a bow on it. Hopefully people will see that's a card. Here's all of the stuff. Decorated this little house. Made a little belly band with a tag on the back. Of course, in an envelope full of ephemera. Those little black and white bird tags. With all the color in here, it's nice to add some black and white things like vintage documents, sheet music, and just black and white ephemera. I like all this Christmas stuff. You could use them to make as gift tags on gifts if you want. So a lot of those little tiny ones would be cute for that. I love that. You could make cards if you wanted to make Christmas cards. You could use some of the ephemera packed in here to make some Christmas cards with. You could use some of the stuff in here as crafting supplies because it's just packed full of so much stuff. And then here's the tag book. It's about maybe half the size. I think it's 5 pages. And then the ones I sell in my shop as tag books, there's a Christmas one that's like this, I think. Good. I know I make at least one to sell each year. I love to give them as gifts. I think I put like one of the bigger ones inside the advent calendar. So one of the days they'll get like a whole tag book. And that day will be pretty exciting. But this one I just made, so the books get too big when they get too many pages in it. 10 or 12 pages is really about it. By the time they get to 15 tags, it's just too bulky, and I don't think they hang or dangle as nice. So I was making tag books and for the advent calendars, and I would bet that I just had a few pages left over, so I threw them into this small book and tried to make it just as cute as the large tag books, just not as many pages. With the glitter, the sparkle, the tuck spots, the lace, the pom-pom, the Dresden trim. I love all of these journals. So the other project that I'd like to get edited today is where I made the 4th one myself. I filmed a video of me making the cover and decorating it and showing the pages that I had and so forth. Yeah, I hope you'll check that out. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I'll put the links to these items in the Etsy shop in the description box or in the comments, probably in the description box, so you can go check those out if you want. They're all still available. It's been a little bit slow this Christmas season, so where sometimes things sell out of my shop before the video goes up, that's not the case this year. As always, thank you so much for watching, and please have a wonderful day.